Y'all need some scriptures?
All right. Go and get you two of them. We might. That way you ain't got to come back. Go and get you two scriptures real quick.
All right. Give me Galatians 6:9, and give me Psalms 119. Psalms 119:59.
Galatians? Okay.
Yeah, Galatians and Psalms.
Okay.
Galatians chapter 6, starting at verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing.
Speak up.
And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season shall we reap, if we faint not.
Right. So it's telling us to don't grow weary in doing good things. Right. A lot of times, it might be family members, friends, co-workers, and you like, man, I'm done helping them out. They're not finna take advantage of me. But the Bible tells us don't grow weary, don't get tired of doing good things, because you're gonna reap your benefits, right, if you faint not. But a lot of times, people just they end up fainting because they give into their flesh, right? And they give into the inner man that says, you know what, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not God, But he says for us to be patient. That's part of the fruits of the spirits, right? Now I want to read this one right here. The second one, Psalms 119, start at 59 and 60.
Psalms 119, starting at, you said 59?
Yeah.
Starting at 59, it says, I thought on my ways and turned my feet unto thy testimony.
Right. You know what the testimonies are? What's the testimonies?
Testimonies to me is when you don't went through something and you share it to somebody else.
Right. That's your testimony, right?
That's my testimony.
Right. But this is David in the book of Psalms saying, I thought on my ways and turned my feet to your testimonies. Mm-hmm. So he went to the Lord's testimony. The Lord's testimonies are the stories that's written in here. Right. So when we see how he brought Israel out of Egypt, how he had David to defeat Goliath, how all these things that happen in the Bible, those are the testimonies that God wants us to always reflect on when we're in the midst of our battles, right? So that's why he said he thought on his ways, right? Keep going.
Verse 60, and I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments.
And he made haste and delayed not. That's why I said David was a man after God's own heart, because he always wanted to keep God's commandments. Before he did anything, he went to prayer and said, God, what do you want me to do? God, what does your word say to do? Right? And so we got to keep those things in mind whatever we going through, even if we just go into a restaurant, how we treat people, how we live, the things that we do. We got to keep God's commandments, right? Because that's how we live.
That's a mighty point too, because when you reflect on his testimonies and reflect on all the good that he did for certain people in the Bible, a lot of times those people that he did good for, more times than not, they were keeping his commandments to a degree or to the best of their ability.
Right. For example, a lot of people think that Christ was the only perfect person in the Bible. Was he? He wasn't. So when you read why he used Noah, when Noah was building the ark, it said that Noah was found righteous and perfect in all his generations. That's why he was chosen to build that ark. Also, when you read about the story of Job, when he said, have you tried my servant Job? He said Job was perfect in all his ways and an upright man. So that lets us know that when Christ tells us in the New Testament, be perfect like your Father is in heaven, he's not telling us to strive for something that we can't do. He's just saying, hey, we have to reflect daily on these testimonies and reflect daily on these commandments so that God can fight our battles for us, because he fought the battles for the people that were in right standing with him. And those people were righteous people.
A lot of people think that Christ came to show us that we couldn't do it, but he really came to show us that we could.
Right.
And what church y'all go to?
We're just an evangelist group, so we just go out.
Just different areas.
Street corners, YouTube ministry,
Okay, that's it. Okay. Well, y'all should do good though, because that's for young people. I think y'all get somewhere and get some young people. To me, I think they just get more.
Yeah.
We be in church. You know, be in church. The old people saying something. Yeah. I think that's for especially young people.
It's a young people's time right now, man, because once the older generation leaves us, man, we're gonna be clueless out here. We're gonna be the older. We talk to young people all the time out here, and you'd be surprised how many of them don't even know the story about David and Goliath. It'd be 19, 18-year-olds not even knowing the story of David and Goliath.
Yeah, they're not going to church no more. Yeah,
Yep.
right. But hey, old grandmamas them take to church every day. Like we can talk about church.
Yeah, we had no
Okay.
choice.
Yeah, okay,
No
no choice.
choice.
Yeah, okay.
That's
But
it.
she got the call, so I did get the call from her.
All right.
I'm good. Good. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm pretty good. So I'm just a sweet.
All right. Yeah, that's right.
God bless.